Jim here is the motor expert. You're out here. You've been doing this for how many years?
More than 20 years. I don't like to admit that, but yeah, it's been a while.
Now, tell me a little bit about the type of motor that we have here, as well as your modifications that you do to it.
This is a standard motor for a buggy or a truggy that you see at the racetrack today. These motors, again, like you said, they spin about 35,000 RPMs, 3 plus horsepower. When I modify them, you usually get about 5 or 10% more gain on your power band. It's a single-cylinder, 2-stroke motor. It uses nitromethane. It fires under compression like a diesel. When these things let loose inside, it's nasty. I can't speak enough about the Novorossi company. It is truly the #1 engine to have in the RC industry. We also TQ'd both events at this track, and we won yesterday first place in truggy, and we have a good shot at winning buggy also.
Excellent. TQ means top qualifier. Let's go ahead, Jim. Take me through this. Let's start with these engines here. What is this? It's the engine sleeve that's got ports in it, right?
Yes, this is the what they call a ABC sleeve, which is aluminum, brass, and chrome on the inside. This is a 7-port sleeve, typical. A lot of the technology that they use today in the pistons is a microcast technology, which is very new, which allows these motors to run at high RPMs. It keeps their concentricity a lot better at higher RPMs.
Heat sink, multi-level heat sink. What operating temperature do these motors run at?
They generally like a good 230 degrees. On some days you can run them up to 270, 280. The important aspect on these motors is you have to keep an eye on your exhaust. You need to have a nice thin trail of smoke coming out the exhaust. If you don't, there's a problem.
Let's look at the crankshaft. Very unique in the crankshaft, as it is one-sided, and fuel does flow through it from the carburetor into the engine case.
Correct. It does. It comes in through the carburetor, out the end of the crank, as you can see.
What you have here, folks, putting out 3 horsepower. Imagine having one of these on your Briggs & Stratton lawnmower. This is little motor, makes the same thing as that 3 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. So if you want to whack on the competition, eat the competition, or cut them down, Novorossi is your motor. Probably one of the most important things that we found here on these RC cars, truggies, buggies, trucks, whatever you want to call them, all comes down to where the rubber meets the road. Mr. Hughes here from Proline Tires, you kind of got a corner on the market, Mr. Wizard, if you would say, of the rubber in the industry, right?
I guess that's right. We've been in business 25 years, and we make a variety of tires for different tracks, whether it's grass, whether it's dirt, whether it's street. We've got a whole different line of tires, of course, out here. We're in a big racing condition, and we just have high-performance tires this weekend.
Well, tell me a little bit about the different types of tires that you have, because I understand there's different rubber compounds, different tread patterns or blocks, if you will. Explain a little bit about what you brought with you for this race.
We brought actually a variety of patterns with us. We have weather conditions we were faced with earlier in the week. We had rain, we had mud, now it's super dry. And so typically in a wet condition, you want to use a little bit bigger pin. The muddier it is, you want to use a bigger pin to get the traction. As the week went on, now we're using a smaller pin. The smaller pin actually is a little more consistent. The track gets hard, and it's more of a qualifying type tire. It doesn't last as long, but it's really, really fast on a hard packed track, the smaller pins.
Excellent. You know, I'm thinking of NASCAR here. Do you guys do pit stops?
We do pit stops. I think that's part of the fun, really one of the fun parts about RC racing. You never know what happens in the pits, just like NASCAR, just like any other form of motorsports. And the pits are awesome. We've got fuel guns that'll fuel, within a second and a half. And some guys use different techniques. They'll use a fuel bottle, whatever your preference is. But pit stops are part of the big strategy of winning races.
Back in the old school days when I used to play with these, we used to punch holes in the side of them to make sure that they breathe, so to speak. Since then, you guys have come up with a different type of foam that fits inside of them that replaces the air.
Yeah, we traditional foam, kind of like a mattress, so forth. That's kind of old technology. The newer technology is a molded foam, more like a Nerf football, if you will. And the foam, it's a lot more durable. It's molded to actually fit the carcass of the tire, whereas this older foam was kind of stamped out and kind of harsh. It just didn't really fit right. And this new molded foam, you don't have to trim, fits right in. And of course, you have different firmnesses. Again, kind of like the compound thing, it depends on track conditions, the amount of time you're running, and so forth. So foam's a big, really important part of racing.
Adam Drake, driving for Losi and Horizon Hobbies here. Adam, you're an icon in the industry. This is a world-class race happening here in Phoenix, Arizona. How do you like the track so far?
The track's unbelievable. Joey and his crew built an unbelievable track. It's the first major race at this facility, and it's one of the best races I've ever been to, one of the most challenging tracks, but also one of the most fun tracks I've ever raced on.
Now, tell me a little bit about your vehicle that you're racing. Obviously, it's a Losi, but let's go into a little bit more specifics about it.
It's the new Team Losi 8. The buggy's been out about 6 months now. We've had a lot of success with it so far. We actually have 5 buggies in the final, and Mike Truey TQ'd the event, and I'm second qualifier.
Excellent. So you're out there fast, running hard. Now, Horizon Hobbies, actually Losi is a division of Horizon Hobbies. Horizon Hobbies supplies most of your hobby shops around. Do I understand that right?
Yeah, they're a distribution center, and they supply shops all around the world with products.
Excellent. Now, inside your Losi buggies that you're out there, what kind of motor are you running?
I run the Trinity Platinum engine, which is my own signature line of engines, and then I run the Trinity Fuel.
Excellent. Is there an advantage? Obviously, you're going to tell me yes, but is there an advantage to your motor, your engine there? What kind of mojo have you thrown on that belly?
One of the neat things with the Trinity engine is that you can buy engines that are actually assembled and prepared by me. Where most manufacturers, you just buy stuff off the shelf, you don't know who's building it. And with Trinity, you can buy engines that are actually manufactured at my shop by me.
Excellent. So if you want to go buy one of Adam's motors, Horizon Hobbies is the place to do it. Tell him you heard it on Motorsports Mania, and if it doesn't run right, send it back and tell him.
Sounds good. Thank you.